to Serendipity Intended. My name is Tracy Ann, and I'm really glad you're here. It is day 4 of Dephemerember, and the day after Thanksgiving. I'll be honest, I'm shooting this a little ahead of time so that I have the time to get the video made and edited and posted for day 4. I am a teacher, and I will be actually working on that day. But anyway, let's jump right in to today's prompt. So the prompt is for today, day 4, is postcard and hand sewing. And I do have to admit that I am, maybe cheating is not the best word, but I might be cheating a little bit. So as I've mentioned in other videos, I do tend to place mark or bookmark things that I'm thinking about doing on when I'm doing a challenge like this one. And that's just because I have an idea of why that might work. And so I just make myself a little note. And if it changes, it changes. So this was day 2. And here we are at the page I think I'm going to use for day 4. And that is because the postcard technically is already part of the journal, right? It was there when I made it. To explain a bit, in the video where I created the journal, I shared that this was a box for a platki, and I'm probably not saying that completely correctly, but it is a Christmas wafer. It's a Polish tradition on Christmas Eve to break a wafer and share a wafer with one another. And this box contained some oplatki that my son's partner gave to me for the first Christmas Eve that they were together. And I just thought it was such an unbelievably thoughtful gift. And I wanted to save the packaging, which I think is beautiful. It has the Christmas tradition on the back explained, but I wanted to use this for my journal. And inside of the packaging was this little postcard that explains sort of the devotion that can accompany that little ceremony on Christmas Eve. And I just thought this was such a special thing to keep in the journal. And so I just went ahead and added it as a page when I made the journal. But it's just kind of plain. I don't really want to cover the image because I think it's beautiful and I like the way it looks with the facing page. And I also really don't want to cover up this either. But I thought that the prompt of hand sewing on this postcard would be perfect, because I thought I could hand sew just a little trim along the edge. And so that is what I'm going to do. I have this ruler. I've had it for ages. It's kind of yellowed a little bit, and I even broke off the end. But what I love about this ruler is that it has holes in a variety of spacings so that you can mark something for stitching and have the spacing line up perfectly every single time. So I'm going to just use this. Please don't ask me where I got it. I don't remember. I probably have had this for 20 years or more. So I'm just going to go right down here. And I did center the holes so that they would be sort of even on either end. My sense of symmetry, really like that. And then I don't know if you can see those dots, but they're all the way along there. And then I'll use that as my guideline so that the stitching ends up fairly evenly placed. Okay, so I'm ready to punch the holes. I'm going to actually punch the holes first and then go back and stitch. And to do that, I have my little setting mat that I'm going to use underneath here to punch my holes so that I don't poke through the other side. And then I have my little book binding kit, because in my book binding kit I have an awl, and it's just got a little point on it, and that's going to let me fairly easily punch holes all the way through. And I am going to try and zoom in just a bit to make it easier to see, and I'm literally just going to do a starter hole where each of these dots are. And I need to find something. You can see they didn't come all the way through. That's okay. I'm going to sew from this side because I think it will be easier for me to see, and then it'll come through on the other side. So what I do need to do is now find some thread to use to do this sewing. I am not able to locate my embroidery threads. My craft room is a bit of a disaster right now. Things are kind of in flux everywhere, and I can't find it. So I'm gonna have to improvise a bit. So I pulled a few things. They're not really threads, but that I thought I might be able to use. So this is really pretty, and I think that it would match. I'm just not 100% sure that it's long enough. So even though color-wise I like this, I'm not 100% sure. I definitely have enough of this, and I was thinking blues, but this really does look nice here, so this is definitely a possibility. I also grabbed this crazy eyelash trim. I think though the hand sewing's gonna get lost. I pulled it because of the blue, but I don't think it's the right shade of blue, and I think the stitching itself would get lost, and I don't want to lose that. There is this, but again, same thing. I think the stitching would probably get lost, so I'm going to set that aside. And then the other thing that I had was this, which seemed kind of appropriate for the nativity. So I really just need to decide if I want to go with something that is kind of simple like that, or to try the blue, or maybe, I don't think the blue. I do think this would add more bulk than I want to have. So maybe we'll set this aside, and maybe I will just go with this eyelash trim. I'm not sure how much I'm going to need, so let's just take, I don't know, 3 lengths of it, and hope that's enough. Okay, that was more than a little bit frustrating, but done nonetheless. Okay, I'm going to start here at the bottom, actually, and just, again, poke through and pull, and then I am going to tie just a little bit of a knot Hopefully that'll be enough. Little tail there, enough to keep it from poking through. And then I'm just going to work my way up. What's interesting is this is fairly even here, but it's a lot rougher on the back side. There. So I picked this partly because I thought the color worked really well, but sort of an unintentional side effect is that it does feel a little bit like the hay in the manger. It's kind of fun. So again, an unintended bonus there. I'm going to go back through this hole one last time and then just tie this off in a little bit of a knot. And I think for now, I'm just going to leave the string loose. I'll probably trim it at some point. Give me just a moment to put my needle away. So I thought maybe what would be interesting would be to create a little bit of a dangle to attach here, to just kind of make the edge of this a little bit more interesting, and do more on this page than simply just the hand stitching. So I have one of these pins. They have a name, I don't know what it is. And I'm going to go through some of my stash and see if I can find some things. So going through these little crosses and things, I have this gold cross that I think would be pretty. And color-wise, I think it works really nicely. So I'm going to put that there. And I think what I might do is grab an eye pin also and create a little bit of a dangle to go with it. Actually, let me slide this up, put my little playing supplies there. Oh my goodness, I'm having a heck of a time getting this thread on. I think these are too tall for the jar is the problem. Okay, then I have some of these amber and pink seed things that are interesting. I just don't remember how they work. I'm not sure how they work, so we won't be using those. I do need something fairly small because I don't want to create a ton of bulk. Need some jump rings, so I'll leave those out. And okay, maybe a few of these little bitties. And these are fun. They're not gold. So these focus, imagine, integrity, discipline, they don't really seem to fit. Okay. Live, breathe. I need some words that are meaningful. Oh, here we go. Love. Love works. And peace. Oh, I like love and peace. Okay, that works nicely for me, I think. Really, there's some bracelets that broke or are about to break. So those might be interesting also. So I'll keep this out, tuck those back in. I think we'll just start with this. So I do need some jump rings. That one. I don't have any gold ones, so I'm just gonna have to wing it as far as that is concerned. Oops. For me, I find that holding on with one set of pliers and bending with the other works the best. Do a little bit of an opening. Slip the jump ring through. And then move them back together. All right, so that's one item. All right, and then I've got this. I thought I could string just a couple beads on. Maybe do a jump ring first. Oh my goodness. This was all much easier when I could see better. I keep thinking I have this far enough apart, and then realizing that I don't. Okay. Then do a little bit of need another. There we go. Actually, let's put, oops. Put that through first. Separate these a little bit. All right, and then maybe another. Right. Look. Okay. There we go. A little bit of a dangle. I decided because of bulk to forego the additional dangle here. I'm just going to use these and also add some of the ribbon that I had looked at before. So the pin, and I'm just going to hook both of these onto here like so. And then that will ultimately go right here. Actually, let me go ahead and attach the pin. There. Okay, so that's nice. But I want a little bit more here. So this is where I'm going to take some of this just lace and some ribbon. And I think what I'll do is I'll cut this lace in half, like so. So I have these bits here, and I think what I'm going to do is tie each of them separately. So I'll do in retrospect, this might have been easier to do before I attached it, but here we are. There, and then ribbon. And then, you know what, I have this little bit. This pin was actually from a clothing tag. I think I'll go ahead and add this as well, just for another little element. And then one last piece of lace.
Swallow your whole life, but
oh, how did I do that? See what I did? I tied it and didn't attach it. Oh, because it came loose. Okay, well. There. A little bit of dangle there. So yeah, I think that works for me. I don't know that I really need to do anymore. I really sort of like just that little simple thing. So that is day 4. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you make a really great day.